Hi students, how are you? Welcome to my channel Doctor's Physics, and in this video we are going to study about the Gauss law and its application. Okay, we'll start the class. Okay, now see here. What is Gauss law? Say me. What is Gauss law? Already you guys know this. What is Gauss law? See here. According to the Gauss law, the total flux through any closed surface is equal to 1 by epsilon naught times of the total charge enclosed in this closed surface. Observe carefully. The total flux through this closed surface is equal to 1 by epsilon naught times of the total charge enclosed by this closed surface. That means the charge enclosed. That is the total flux through this surface. That means if there is a charge Q, then the total flux through this closed surface is simply Q by epsilon naught. Now if we assume there is a closed surface and it is A, another closed surface it is B, another closed surface and it is C. Okay, now see. According to the Gauss law, the total flux through any closed surface is equal to the 1 by epsilon naught times of the total charge enclosed in this. Now if I take this closed surface A, now what is the charge present in this? The charge is Q. Therefore the flux through the surface A is equal to Q by epsilon naught. Okay, well and good. Now if I take the surface B, now even this surface B, even it is a closed surface, and the charge enclosed in this closed surface is Q. Even this charge Q is inside this closed surface B only, right? Therefore, what is the flux through B? The flux through B is nothing but what is the enclosed charge? That is Q by epsilon naught. Now, if I take the surface C, the outer surface, even these are the closed surface. Now, this charge Q is present in this closed surface. Then, what is the flux through C? The flux through C is nothing but Q by epsilon naught. Now see here, this is a charge, and because of this charge, the electric field lines will be like this. You guys will accept that? These electric field directions. Okay, well and good. Now see here, how many electric field lines are passing through the surface A? How many electric field lines are passing through the surface? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, through the surface A, the number of field lines passing is 5. Okay, therefore it is having some particular flux, that is Q by epsilon naught. Flux means simply the count of electric field lines passing through the surface. Flux means the number of electric field lines passing through the surface. It is simply the count. Okay, now the flux through this A is nothing but Q by epsilon naught. I got 5. Now what is the number of field lines passing through B? Even through B, B is a B. Even through B, the number of field lines passing is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 only. That means the flux is same. Therefore, the flux of A, the flux of B is same. Now, for C body, these are outer body, C. Even through this body, the number of field lines passing is 5 only. Therefore, the flux is same. That means, whatever be the shape of the body, whatever be the shape, whatever be the size, and whatever be the position of charge, inside the closed surface. See here, this charge may be anywhere inside this closed surface. See, this is a closed surface, and if the charge may be here, what is the flux? The flux is nothing but Q by epsilon, because inside this closed surface, what is the charge Q? Therefore, the flux through this closed surface is nothing but Q by epsilon naught. Now, if this charge is here, see here, the charge is here, but even though the charge is here, but the charge is inside this closed surface only. Therefore, the flux is Q by epsilon naught. If this charge is here, even though the charge is here, but this charge is inside this closed surface only. Therefore, the flux is Q by epsilon naught. That means, wherever be the charge position inside the closed surface, the flux will be same. And the flux is independent of shape. It may be circular shape, it may be spherical shape, it may be a irregular shape, it may be any shape. But it must be a closed surface, that's all. And it is independent of size also. It may be if this is a charge Q, the flux through this surface A is equal to the flux through this surface B. Both A, B are different sizes, but the flux through A and the flux through B is same because the flux is independent of shape, size and position of the charge inside the closed surface. That's all. It is depending only on one point, that is the charge enclosed. How much charge is present in the closed surface? It will depend only on the charge present in the closed surface. If I take this closed surface here, what is the charge present? That is Q. Therefore, the flux through A is Q by epsilon naught. That's all. What is if I take to this closed surface B? Now, what is the charge present in this closed surface B? That is Q. Therefore, the flux through B is Q by epsilon naught. That's all. I think this is clear. What is the Gauss law? According to the Gauss law, the total flux through any closed surface is equal to 1 by epsilon naught times of the total charge enclosed in the closed surface. And the flux is independent of the shape of the closed surface, and it is independent of the size of the closed surface, and it is independent of the position of the charge inside this closed surface. The charge may be anywhere, but if it is inside, then the flux is Q by epsilon naught. That's all. Here, the number of electric field lines passing through A, B, C is same. The number of electric field lines passing is same. That means the flux is same. Therefore, the flux of A, B, C is same. There is nothing but Q by epsilon, Q by epsilon, Q by epsilon. The flux through any closed surface is independent of the charge outside. The flux through any closed surface is independent of the charge which is present outside. It won't depend on the charge which is present outside. It will depend only on the charge which is present inside this closed surface. Now see here, what is the meaning of that? If this is some closed surface, and inside this closed surface the charges are Q1 and this is Q2, and outside the charge is Q3. Now what is the flux associated with this closed surface? The flux associated with this closed surface is nothing but 1 by epsilon naught times of the charge enclosed. What is charge enclosed? Q1 and Q2. These Q1 and Q2 both are present in this closed surface. Therefore the charge enclosed is Q1 plus Q2. That's all. This Q3 won't give any flux through this closed surface. Now see here, if this is Q3, from this Q3 the electric field lines will be like this. The number of electric field lines which are going inside is exactly equal to the number of field lines which are coming outside. That means the flux in is exactly equal to the flux out. Flux in is negative, flux is out. Flux out is positive. That means negative plus positive. Therefore, it becomes 0. That means the flux through any closed surface by the charge present outside is 0. The flux through closed surface always by the charge which is present inside. That's all. Simply the flux is, what is the flux? 1 by epsilon naught times of the charge enclosed. That's all. The flux through any closed surface won't depend on the charge which is present outside. It is independent of the charge which is present outside. Therefore, this Q3 won't give any flux through this closed surface. And one more important point. That is, observe carefully. If this is the body and this is the charge Q1 and this is the charge Q2 and this is the charge Q3 and this is the charge Q4. Now what is the flux through this closed surface? The flux through this closed surface is nothing but, what is charge enclosed? Q1, Q2, Q3. These are the charges which is present inside. Therefore the flux is Q1 plus Q2 plus Q3 by epsilon naught. And this Q4 won't give any flux. Just now we have seen. Now the electric field. I want to find electric field at this point. Now the electric field at any point is simply the net electric field due to all the charges. That means the electric field at this point P is because electric field because of this charge E2, Q2, and because of this charge Q1, and because of this charge Q3, and even because of this charge Q4. Therefore, the electric field, the net electric field at any point is the net electric field because of all the charges, even the charges are present inside or even the charges present outside. All these charges will give some electric field, and at any point the electric field is simply the resultant of all these electric fields. Therefore, the resultant electric field at this point P, that is EP, is nothing but E1 bar plus E2 bar plus E3 bar plus E4 bar. The net electric field at this point is sum of this, the vector sum of the electric fields because of all the charges. The charges may be inside, the charges may be outside. All the charges we have to consider for the electric field. But for the flux, we have to consider only the charges which are present inside the surface. And it is clear. There is nothing but the Gauss law. The main thing is it is independent of shape, size and position of the charge inside the closed surface. It may be any shape. It may be a cuboid. The charge is inside. The flux through this closed surface is Q by epsilon naught. It may be a spherical body. The charge is Q. What is the flux? Q by epsilon naught. It may be a cylindrical shape. The charge is inside is Q. Therefore, the flux through this closed surface is Q by epsilon naught. It may be any shape. But the flux will be always 1 by epsilon naught times of the charge enclosed by the closed surface. And the closed surface may be any shape. No problem. I think this is clear. Okay, now we will see what is a Gaussian surface. Okay, now we will see the Gaussian surface. Okay, what is Gaussian surface? Okay, see here. Gaussian surface. Now you see a Gaussian surface simply a imaginary surface. It is an imaginary surface that should be chosen around a charge. It is simply an imaginary surface that should be chosen around a charge. It may be any charge. It may be discrete charge. It may be point charge. It may be continuous charge. Always remember, it is an imaginary surface that should be chosen around a charge, and it should be always a closed loop. It must be a closed surface. Again, Gaussian surface is an imaginary closed surface that should be chosen around a charge, and the charge may be a discrete charge, it may be a continuous charge, it may be a point charge, it may be any charge, no problem. And there are few rules to take this Gaussian surface. To solve the problems very easily, we have to take the Gaussian surface by following some particular rules. What are those here? First one, the Gaussian surface should be chosen in such a way that the electric field intensity at all the points, on the Gaussian surface, all the points on the Gaussian surface should be same. That means if I assume a Gaussian surface, on the Gaussian surface the electric field intensity at all the points, at all these points, the electric field intensity must be same. In such a way I have to assume the Gaussian surface. I should not assume the Gaussian surface as a lake. I should assume in such a way that the Gaussian surface, around the Gaussian surface, at all the points on the surface, the electric field intensity must be same. Now second one, this should be taken in a regular shapes. Irregular shapes. It may be a spherical shape, it may be a cylindrical shape, it may be cone shape, it may be a cuboidal shape, it may be cube shape. All these shapes we know the areas, surface areas. For the bodies for which we know the surface areas, those bodies we have to assume as a closed surface, as a Gaussian surface. For solving the problems easily, we have to assume a regular shapes. It may be a spherical, it may be a cylindrical, it may be any shape for which we know the surface area formulas. Okay. Now next one. This Gaussian surface should be chosen in such a way that the electric field lines are always perpendicular to the surface, always perpendicular to the Gaussian surface, or they have to be tangential to the Gaussian surface. Observe carefully. First one, on the Gaussian surface, everywhere the electric field intensity must be same. Second one, the Gaussian surface should be taken in regular shapes so that we can solve the problems very easily. If we take irregular shapes, we don't know the surface area, then we can't find the flux easily. Therefore, you have to use the regular shapes. That's all. Now, third one, the Gaussian surface, we should assume that the electric field lines, these are the electric field lines. Always this electric field line has to be perpendicular to the surface, or they have to be tangential to the surface. They have to be either perpendicular to the surface or they have to be tangential to the surface. They should not make some angle. If they are making some angle, then we can't find the flux. It's very difficult to find the flux. Always these 3 points has to be assumed. And one more point. The Gaussian surface can't pass. The Gaussian surface can't pass through a discrete charge. The Gaussian surface can't pass through a discrete charge. That means this is a charge Q1 and this is some charge Q2. And the Gaussian surface can't pass like this. The Gaussian surface can't pass through any discrete charge. It can't pass. If it is a continuous, it can pass. It can pass through a continuous charge. No problem. There is no problem. If this is a wire, if this is a infinity wire, and this is a continuous charge, for this I can take the Gaussian surface like this. No problem. Gaussian surface can pass through the continuous charge, but it should not pass through a discrete charge. All these 4 points are very important for assuming a Gaussian surface. It is a simple imaginary surface. We are assuming to find the problems, to solve the problems, we are assuming the Gaussian surface. Okay. I think this is clear. And now, why we are assuming the Gaussian surface? Now, what is the flux? The flux is nothing but Q enclosed by epsilon naught. And what is the other form of a flux? Electric flux we study, that is surface integral of E bar dot ds bar. Do you remember this? Do you remember this? Flux is equal to Q enclosed by epsilon. Just now we have seen the Gauss law, and it must be equal to the surface integral of E bar dot ds bar. The surface integral, for solving the surface integral, I have to assume a closed surface. That closed surface is nothing but the Gaussian surface. Now, if you didn't understand anything, don't worry. When you are solving the problems, everything will be understood clearly. At least you have to solve 1 or 2 problems. Then only you will understand what is the Gaussian surface. Okay, now we will see 1 or 2 small problems. Then you will get a clarity on this Gaussian surface. Okay, now see here. Okay, now see here. This is a cylinder, half cylinder of length L. This is half cylinder. Now they told that the charge is present at one of the corner. This is the charge. Now they told to find the flux through this half cylinder. Now how can I find the flux through this half cylinder? I am assuming a Gaussian surface. I am assuming a Gaussian surface of cylinder of length 2L. I am assuming a Gaussian surface like this. This is a Gaussian surface. This is a Gaussian surface of length 2L. The charge is the center. Now it is a closed surface. It is a closed surface. What is the flux? For a closed surface, the flux is Q by epsilon naught. But they told to find the flux through only half. For half. For whole it is Q by epsilon naught. But for half it is how much? Q by 2 epsilon naught. I think that is clear. We have to assume the Gaussian surface such a way that it will complete the body. It will complete the remaining shape. It is half cylinder. I have to assume a Gaussian surface such a way that it will complete the whole cylinder. It is half, therefore length is L. For whole cylinder it is, length is 2L. For this whole cylinder, what is the flux? The flux is Q by epsilon naught. But they told to find only for this much. For this much, what is the flux? The flux is Q by 2 epsilon naught. Okay, now we'll see one more small one now here. Now if this is a plate, if the plate is square plate of side A, this is a plate, a square plate of side A, and they told there is some small charge at a distance A by 2. They told this is a plate, and they told at a by 2 distance there is a small charge Q. Now they told to find the flux. They told to find the flux through this square plate. How can I find it? Can you imagine that this is a square plate, this is a square plate, and the square plate of side A. Now they told that there is a small charge Q at distance A by 2. Now they told to find the flux through this square plate. How can you find the flux? How can you find the flux? How can you find the flux through the square plate? Now for that I have to assume a Gaussian surface. Now see here. This is a square plate. This is a square plate, and from here this charge is at a distance A by 2, and the length of the square plate is A. Now I am assuming Gaussian surface as a cube. As a cube I am assuming Gaussian surface. I am assuming as a Gaussian surface cube of side A. Now for whole cube, what is the flux? That is Q by epsilon naught. But for one side, for only one plate you have to find. For one side how much? How many sides are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 sides are there. For one side how much? What is the flux? The flux through one side is Q by 6 epsilon naught. I think that is clear. Okay, same thing. If it is not clear, then we will see one more here. No problem. Many are there. A cube. A cube, and at the center the charge is Q. Cube, and at the center the charge is Q. Now what is the flux through this cube? The flux through cube is how much? This cube is a closed surface and the charge is inside. Therefore the flux through this closed surface is Q by epsilon naught. Now what is the flux through one side? Say me, what is the flux through one side? If I want to find the flux through this side, what is the flux? What is the flux? For whole cube, for 6 sides, the flux is Q by epsilon naught, and for one side, how much? The flux is Q by 6 epsilon naught. Okay. Now the charge is not at the center. Now charge is at the one of the center of this side. Now, assume this is a cube. Okay, well and good. Now this is one of the side. Now the charge is present at this corner, at this one of the center of this side. The charge is, that means here, this is a cube, this is a cube, and the charge is here. I place the charge here. I place the charge here. When I place the charge here, now just imagine what will happen. Only half of the charge will be inside this one. Remaining half will be outside. You guys will accept that? If I place a charge at one of the center of the side, then only half of the charge will be inside this body and remaining half will be outside. Now, if this is a charge Q, now what I have to do? What I have to do? To cover this charge, I have to assume one more body. To cover that, I have to assume one more body. Like this. Can you imagine that? Here, this is one body and they told the charge is present here. Only half is inside and remaining half is outside. But always you have to assume a Gaussian surface in such a way that the charge will be inside the Gaussian surface. Therefore, I am assuming Gaussian surface as a cuboid. This is a Gaussian surface. I assume the Gaussian surface like this. This whole is a Gaussian surface. And inside this Gaussian surface, the charge is Q. Therefore, for whole Gaussian surface, what is the flux? The flux is Q by epsilon naught. And for only half, that means only for this cube, how much? For whole Gaussian surface, the flux is Q by epsilon naught. And for only half, how much? For only half, for this cube, it is Q by 2 epsilon naught. I think it is clear. For whole, it is Q by epsilon naught. For half, that means for this cube, how much? Is Q by 2 epsilon naught. Or you can imagine like this. If this is the body, only half of the body is inside this. Half of the charge is inside this body. Remaining half is outside. Therefore, what is the charge present in this inside this body? It is only Q by 2. It is not Q. Because outside is one more half. Only the charge present in the inside this body is how much? Q by 2. Therefore, what is the flux? What is the flux? The flux is Q enclosed. What is Q enclosed? It is Q by 2. Therefore, Q by 2 epsilon naught. I think that is clear. Okay. Now we will see one more. This is very important. We have to imagine. If you imagine, then only you will get, students. Please remember this. Okay, now see here. If the charge is placed at one of the corner of a cube, that means this is a cube and they placed at this corner. Just imagine. Unless you imagine, you won't get the answers. Just close your eyes and imagine. If I place the charge here at one of the corner, then just imagine how much of charge is present inside this cube. How much of charge is present inside this cube, or how many cubes I need to cover this charge. Just imagine. This is the cube. This is a cube. Assume this is a cube, and the charge is here, and of the corner. This charge is here. Now, if to cover this charge, what I need? If a charge is present in this corner, then to cover this charge, I need one more cube like this, and again one more cube like this, and again one more cube like this. That means at the base, I need 4 cubes to cover half of the half charge, and remaining half is there upside. Again to cover this, I need 4 more on the top. That means I need total 8 cubes to cover this charge. That means I need total, like this side 1 cube, and backside 2 cubes, and the top 4 cubes. Therefore, total the flux is Q by epsilon naught. For whole 8 cubes, the flux is Q by epsilon naught. Now they have to find the flux through the cube. What is the flux through the cube? For 1 cube, how much? For 8 cubes, we need 8 cubes to cover this charge. For 1 cube, how much? For 1 cube, the flux is Q by 8 epsilon naught. Okay, now for this one, from flux through one side of the cube opposite to the charges. That means this is the charge. What is the opposite charge? What is the opposite sides? This is one of the side opposite. This is one of the side opposite. And this is one of the side opposite. And this is one of the side opposite. You guys will accept that. This top surface is not opposite. This back side surface is not opposite. And this side surface is not opposite. Only this surface and bottom surface. These 3 are opposite to these charges. And now see, just imagine. If this is the cube, if this is the body, and if I place 4 cubes on top 4 cubes, the flux will come out. The flux will come out only from these 3 surfaces. Just imagine. The flux can come out only from these 3 surfaces. The flux can't come out from this one, because it is inside the Gaussian surface. Even this one also is inside the Gaussian surface. Even the top, this one also is inside the Gaussian surface. Only these 3 are facing outside. 1, 2, 3. These 3 are facing outside. Therefore, from these 3, the flux is Q by 8 epsilon naught. From one side it is Q by 8 epsilon naught by 3. See, whatever the flux passing through this body, that has to come out from these 3 surfaces only. Can you imagine that? Whatever be the flux, whatever the field lines, electric field lines due to this charge, they have to come out from this charge, from this cube only from these 3 surfaces. 1, 2, 3. From these 3 surfaces only they have to come out. Therefore, what is the flux through one surface? This is Q by 24 epsilon naught. I think that is clear. Okay, now see this one. If the charge is placed at center of the edge, what is the edge? This is the edge. Now, if I want to cover this charge, just imagine. Again, just imagine. This is the one of the cube, and the charge is present at this corner. Here. Now, to cover this, how much I need? On the top, I have to keep 1 cube. This side I have to keep 1 cube, and bottom I have to keep 1 cube. That means I have to keep 4 cubes to cover this charge. Can you imagine that? Only 1/4 charge will be inside this. Remaining 3/4 will be outside. To cover that, I need 1 more cube here, 1 more cube this side, 1 more cube downward. That means I need 4 cubes to cover this charge. To cover this charge, I need 1 cube here, 1 cube on top, and 1 cube here. That means I need 4 cubes to cover this charge. Therefore, from one cube, what is the flux? From one cube, the flux is, for whole 4 cubes, the flux is q by epsilon naught. And for one cube, what is the flux? It is q by 4 epsilon naught. And this is clear. Unless you imagine, you won't get. If you try to by heart, you won't get anything. Just you have to imagine. Yeah, there is a box and the charge is here. If the charge is there, now to cover the charge, how many cubes I need? You have to imagine. If you imagine, then only you will get the answers. If the charge is at the one of the corner, to cover that I have to give one more charge here. I have to give one more. To cover one more box inside, and I have to give one more box on top, and I have to give one more box here. Then only I can cover this charge. Therefore, I need 4 cubes. If I need 4 cubes to cover this charge, then the flux for the 4 cubes is q by epsilon naught. For 1 cube is q by 4 epsilon naught. We have to imagine, then only you will get the answers. Okay. Now we will see one more example, small one. Okay. Now see here. There is a semi-spherical closed body. This is semi-spherical closed body, and they told to find the flux through the curved surface if the electric field is parallel to the base, and second one, the electric field is perpendicular to the base. Now before this, you have to know a small concept. Now see here. Whenever I place any closed surface in an electric field, whenever I place any closed surface, it may be any shape. Whenever I place any closed surface in electric field, it may be a uniform electric field, it may be a uniform, or it may be a non-uniform. The electric field may be a uniform electric field, or electric field may be non-uniform electric field. Whenever I place any closed surface in an electric field, then the flux through this closed surface is 0. The flux through this closed surface is 0. That means this is a closed surface. Now when I place this is electric field directions. Now the number of electric field lines coming in is exactly equal to the number of electric field lines passing out. Whatever the electric field lines are coming in, they has to go out. That means the flux in is equal to flux out. Flux in is negative and flux out is positive. Why it is negative? I told you in electric flux video, I told you. This is electric field direction and this is the area vector. For this surface, the area vector will be always outside. The electric field direction, the area vector, both are opposite. Therefore, cos theta is, angle is 180. Therefore, cos theta is minus. Therefore, the flux in is negative and the flux out. This is the electric field direction, and for this surface, the area vector is like this. Therefore, both are in the same direction. Therefore, the angle is 0. Therefore, the flux out is positive. Therefore, overall flux is 0. That means it may be any closed body. Whenever I place an electric field, it may be uniform electric field, it may be non-uniform electric field. The flux is 0. Please remember that. Now see here. Please remember. Okay, now see here. This is on closed body. Assume it is a cuboid. Now, the electric field direction is like this. This is electric field direction. Now, when this electric field direction for this surface, what is the area vector? The area vector will be always perpendicular to the surface and it is always projected outwards. Therefore, the area vector will be n cap will be in this direction. And for this surface, top surface, the area vector will be in this direction. And for this bottom surface, the area vector will be downwards. And for this surface, the area vector will be perpendicular and it will be outwards. Therefore, like this. Okay. For every surface, there will be different area vectors. Always area vector. That means if this is a surface, for this surface, the area vector will be perpendicular and it will be outwards. For this surface, the area vector will be like this. For this surface, the area vector will be like this. For the bottom surface, the area vector will be like this. For this, in this direction. For this, in this direction. That means always the area vector will be perpendicular and it will be always projected outwards. Okay. Now in this surface, assume this surface 1. For this surface 1, the flux 1 is how much? E into A, and the electric field direction and the area vector direction is opposite, therefore cos 180, therefore it is minus Ea, and we assume it is surface 2. For what is the flux 2? E into A, and the electric field direction and the area vector direction both are same, therefore cos 0, angle is 0, cos 0 is 1, therefore less Ea. And for this surface, this area vector and this electric field, and the angle between them is 90, cos 90 is 0, for the flux for this surface is 0, even for this surface the flux is 0, and even for the backside surface the flux is 0, even for bottom surface the flux is 0, because all these four surfaces the area vectors are perpendicular to electric field. Therefore the flux for all the surface x, phi 1 plus phi 2 plus phi 6 is equal to 0. That means it is a closed surface. When I place an electric field, the total flux must be 0. Because of these forces, because of the surface, these sides, the flux is 0. Because of this negative, because of the positive, the overall is 0. That means these are semi-spherical body. For this, the flux is 0. The total flux is 0, and the total flux is nothing but the sum of curved surface plus sum of the flux due to the base. The flux for the curved surface plus the curved flux to the base. Sum of these two is always equal to 0. I think that is clear. The sum of all these 6 surfaces I took as 0. The sum of all the flux through these 6 surfaces I took as 0. Same way, the sum of the flux through the curved surface plus base is 0. Now we told the electric field is parallel to the base. That means electric field direction is like this. This is electric field direction. And for this surface, for the base, what is the area vector? For this base, the area vector is perpendicular to the base and it must be projected outwards like this. This is area vector n cap. Therefore, what is the flux through the base? This n cap and this electric field both are 90 degrees. Therefore, flux through the base is 0. If the flux through the base is 0, then what is the flux through the curved surface? It must be 0. Therefore, if the electric field is parallel to the base, then the flux through the curved surface is 0. Okay, now when the electric field is perpendicular to the base, that means like this. This is a spherical shell and this is the area vector n cap and this is electric field direction. Now what is the flux to the base? The flux to the base is E bar dot A bar. E bar, E into, what is the area of the base? It is semi-spherical shell. That means area of the base is nothing but circle. That means pi r square. What is the angle? The area vector is downwards, electric field is upwards. Therefore, angle is 180. Cos 180 is minus 1. Minus 1. Therefore, the flux through the base is minus E pi r square. Now, if for the base is this much, then what must be the for the curved surface area? The total flux must be equal to flux to the curved surface area plus flux to the base. Now this is 0. Therefore, what is this? This must be equal to minus of flux to the base. That is nothing but E pi r square. Therefore, if the electric field is perpendicular to the base, then the flux to the curved surface area is E pi r square. Very, very logical things. Unless you imagine, you won't get the answers. Very, very logical things. Angles are very important. If you do any mistake in the angles, the whole answer will be wrong. Please be careful. Okay, by this, we'll end up this video. And in next video, we will see the application of the Gauss law. The electric field due to a spherical shell, electric field due to a solid shell, electric field due to a spherical conductor, electric field due to infinity wire, infinity sheet. Everything we'll see about the application of Gauss law in the next video. And if you guys have any doubt, it may be any topic, it may be 11th class, it may be 12th class, please mention a mail or my WhatsApp number. Within 24 hours, all your doubts will be clarified. Thank you.